Hello, welcome, and thanks for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Gumansing. Students from Central High School were released early Monday. Education officials say burglars broke into the school during the weekend, taking equipment from different areas of the campus, so police needed to make a thorough investigation. News 2's Erica Parsons has that story.
Central's campus is quiet now, but just a few hours ago, hundreds of students filled this school before it was shut down so police detectives could comb the grounds to search for clues that could lead to a group of burglars. Students boarded bus after bus, and parents and guardians picked up their children when news came early Monday morning that Central High would be dismissed at 11.
When I came in this morning, about 6:45, the custodial staff informed me that she think there's a break-in. So of course we went and do the assessment, and when we went around, we noticed there's a lot of places that, you know, the locks was knocked off the doors.
It's unfortunate that Central High, Ms. Sinclair, came on her early morning rounds and to discover so many areas broken into. From what I can ascertain, it pretty much affected most of the main campus, and so that's what caused a lot of the disturbance to the regular school day.
The students were held over in the school's gymnasium while police did preliminary investigations, and then forensics were called in.
The sad thing about it is this is not the first break-in we have, and we think it may be students.
Education officials and staff spent the morning reviewing surveillance records. It's the third time the school's been broken into for the year. iPads were taken during the last burglary, and officials are frustrated.
We're having tough times in the community, but resorting to stealing and vandalizing our schools, you know, the things that we share in common, it really makes no sense because, you know, as Ms. Sinclair mentioned, it eventually hurts all of us.
A full assessment hadn't been done, but early reports revealed that computers, laptops, televisions, and instruments were taken. Because of the ongoing investigation, not many details were provided about the break-in, but officials have a plea for the community.
If you find things coming into your house that does not belong to you and your child bring it in, I think you should check it out first and please notify someone, because what they're doing is stealing things from the school that's supposed to help them with their own education.
The individuals that were on this campus, you know, the surveillance cameras, it'll be a matter of time before we'll be able to narrow down who it was, and you know, we're going to do everything in our power to put them through the fullest, you know, prosecution of the law.
Erica Parsons, News 2.
According to education officials, police have one suspect in custody. Officials also learned of a burglary at Claudio Elementary School during the weekend. Students at both schools should report to classes as usual Tuesday unless otherwise notified. Well, after many years of sleepless nights, studying, and sacrifice, students of the University of the Virgin Islands finally reached their goals. More than 300 students received their degrees in their respective fields of study at the graduation ceremonies on Saturday and Sunday evening. News 2's Sean Davis was at the ceremonies on St. Thomas campus and files this report.
With cameras and video recorders in hand, many family, friends, and supporters packed into the UVI Sports and Fitness Center on Saturday evening to celebrate that special moment that graduates have been waiting for. After all the years of sacrifice and hard work, UVI's newest graduates displayed smiles throughout the entire evening as they waited to receive their diplomas and bid farewell to the university.
This is a joyful occasion. You worked diligently to achieve this milestone, and you deserve to treasure and enjoy every moment.
Keynote speaker Kwesi Nfume, business and political leader, continually rallied graduates with his uplifting speech and advice, encouraging them to continue educating themselves and to fight for what they believe in.
There will be thousands of people out there who will have your same degree. We grant that. There will be thousands more doing what you want to do for a living. But you will be the only person alive who has sole custody of your life, your particular life, and for your entire life.
Class speaker Linda Ritter took the time to revisit the common memories that graduates shared and encouraged them to cherish each one.
I never figure out why the research paper had to be 15 to 20 pages long.
echoes of cheers and an overall sense of pride filled the building as the graduates graced the stage to accept their diplomas. For some graduates, the chapter of accomplishment is done for now. For others, however, that journey has just begun.
Like I said, that were wives and husbands and parents, is now you can breathe and you can go and you can take care of your families for a moment and then continue to move on.
Sean David, News 2.
Meanwhile, over on St. Croix, more than 100 graduates from UVI's class of 2013 also received their degrees Sunday. Despite the rainy weather, performances from the university's concert band, steel orchestra, and Voices of Inspiration Community Choir marked the occasion for the graduates whose hard work was rewarded on Sunday. Keynote speaker and political leader Croix urged them on.
Run into a lot. Just don't be stymied by the agony of any of your failures. And don't be deceived by the ecstasy of your successes. Both can and oftentimes will be illusions that will vanish with the setting sun. I've come instead to ask that you let your failures become springboards toward even greater achievement. That you let your successes render you sober so they can sustain you through the torment of all the howling winds that you will face as members of a society that is oftentimes ready to devour you. You must be stronger than that.
Congratulations to all the graduates. The total cost of the Charles Turnbull Library to date is $22 million. That's according to officials who also announced Monday the Tutu Library is scheduled for a new soft opening late June. That's if all goes according to plan. News2's Erica Bivens brings us this update.
Based on a conference call with reporters Monday, the Charles Turnbull Library in Tutu is scheduled for another soft opening.
We are readying for a soft opening towards the middle to latter part of June of this year, and all indications are that we will be able to meet that target date.
The Turnbull Library was turned over from the Department of Public Works to DP&R in December 2012. Then the staff from Enid Ba Library transferred to the Turnbull Library. However, a number of issues prevented a soft opening that was scheduled for March.
With the opening of a new building, we go through what we call our typical maintenance issues or maintenance concerns. And the major concern that has arisen to this date is a popping sound that occurs with the roof.
Public Works Commissioner Daryl Smalls says the roof was built according to plans, but the popping noise is unacceptable for a library. Therefore, the contractor has agreed to replace the roof at no charge to the VI government.
We anticipate, because we have received the shop drawings on this roofing system, that by the end of this month, May, that we will be in a position to sign off and approve this new roofing system, at which time the new roof will be ordered and the installation of the roof will commence the latter part of June.
DP&R Commissioner Alicia Barnes noted issues with the air conditioning and a lack of staff in her letter to Senator Tregenza Roach in April. Today, she says they have addressed the air conditioning issue and posted vacancies for staff positions.
We do have the list of eligible candidates, and we're going to commence interviews this week as we receive the list from personnel on Friday of last week.
For now, the bookmobile is providing limited services downtown. For News 2, I'm Erica Bivens.
Commissioner Small says a photovoltaic system is also being planned, but that work cannot begin until the new roof is installed. Landscaping, signage, and enhancements to accessibility will be ongoing. Traffic Investigation Bureau officers continue to investigate a fatal traffic accident that happened early Friday afternoon. Police say the safari was traveling west on Nicholas Friday Drive near Eudorican High School when a black scooter operated by a man whose name has not been released was traveling east on the same road. They say the scooter driver apparently lost control and veered into the west lane where he collided head-on with the safari and was thrown under the front end of the safari. The safari was lifted by a backhoe. The man was treated by EMS and taken to the hospital where he later died. The investigations continue. The Bureau of Internal Revenue is reminding taxpayers they have until this Friday, May 17th, to take advantage of Operation Last Chance. The program gives taxpayers of all tax types the opportunity to pay all taxes due without penalty. Director Claudette Watson-Anderson says the Bureau will review each taxpayer's situation on a case-by-case basis and provide guidance on how to comply. Taxpayers taking advantage of Operation Last Chance are asked to write the words Operation Last Chance at the top of each return filed.
We estimate about at least 300 Virgin Islanders who have not filed a tax return in over 3 years with the Bureau. We're giving those people one last chance to come in and file their return and pay all taxes due. After that date, we will be sending those names to the Department of Justice as part of our tax collection task force, and individuals will be prosecuted for non-filing.
Well, turning our attention to Washington, the uproar over IRS misconduct is growing. Republicans want answers, and they want President Obama to accept some of the blame for allowing the agency to unfairly scrutinize conservative political groups during an election year. Suzanne McGinnis has that story.
Republicans are calling on President Obama to apologize for the actions of the Internal Revenue Service. The agency admits using extra scrutiny with conservative political groups during the 2012 election.
The president needs to make crystal clear that this is totally unacceptable in America.
The White House says the president expects swift action for any misconduct, but points out that the IRS is an independent agency. The IRS apologized for unfairly targeting conservative groups and blamed low-level employees for what it calls the inappropriate behavior. But CBS News has obtained a draft copy of the IRS Inspector General's report due out later this week. It shows senior IRS officials knew in June of 2011 that Tea Party and other conservative groups applying for tax-exempt status were being red-flagged. Republicans say the IRS revelations are adding to the mistrust Americans have for government.
I don't care if you're a conservative, a liberal, a Democrat, or a Republican. This should send a chill up your spine.
Lawmakers raised concerns over IRS practices last March, but at that time, the agency's commissioner denied any wrongdoing.
There's absolutely no targeting. This is the kind of back and forth that happens when people apply.
There's got to be accountability for people who are telling lies about it being done.
At least 2 congressional investigations are underway and more are expected. Susan McGinnis, CBS News, Washington.
And keeping our eye on the economy, stocks are starting the week mixed on concerns the Federal Reserve may be ending its stimulus program. An article in this weekend's Wall Street Journal said Fed officials were considering an exit strategy for their low interest rate policy, which has been fueling the economy since 2008. Consumers increased their spending last month as Americans bought more cars and clothing while paying less for gas. The Commerce Department says retail sales rebounded from a weak March to rise 0.1% in April. This is a New York Stock Exchange with Scotiabank Stock Market Watch. The Dow down 26, NASDAQ and S&P both up. Coming up on News 2, an Amber Alert that was issued for a 9-year-old boy. We have an update. After the downpours experienced this past weekend, Public Works Commissioner gave an update on the territory's roads. We'll have that coming up next. Well, after the downpours experienced this past weekend, Public Works Commissioner gave an update on the territory's roads. He said the department received a number of calls in the St. Thomas-St. John district.
We did have some flooding conditions that, fortunately, due to the improved drainage structures, dissipated in the Havenside area. We did have some rising waters. The Oswald Harris Court, we had a block drainage. We had a couple reports of trees down. We had similar type rain, deluge of rain on the island of St. John. And the primary area of concern was on Center Line Road. Once the rain subsided, the lightning also subsided. The Department of Public Works dispatched crews, and we were able to get out and clear the roads of the debris and the trees and cleared the appropriate drainage.
The St. Thomas-St. John Chamber of Commerce held the 2013 annual banquet. The Wilbur Bill LaMotta Community Service Award and the Award for Community Economic Investment were presented. Recipients included Cornell A. Williams, President of International Capital and Management Company, Lena Steele Williams, Director of the Central Office Engineering Innovative Companies, Dr. Sharon Ann McCollum, Principal of Ivani Dorican High School, Ms. Adalia Dolly Dockery, teacher at the Charlotte Amalie High School, and the recognition of an individual involved in the leadership of a nonprofit for service it provides to the community. Mr. Michael Aiken, Executive Director of Catholic Charities of the Virgin Islands, received that honor. Discussions got underway last week focusing on challenges facing veterans in the territory and how the Senate can help with legislation. The Office of Veterans Affairs encourages veterans to come out to their fairs this week to get involved and learn more about the local and federal benefits from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Tuesday on St. Thomas at the Theodore Roosevelt Veterans Park, and Thursday on St. Croix from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Office of Veterans Affairs grounds in Estate Richmond. There will be a wealth of information. Many other agencies will be participating. On May 9th, a VIPD press release was issued stating an Amber Alert was issued for a 9-year-old boy who reportedly was taken from the Virgin Islands by a person other than the custodial parent. Police say once the case was transferred to the domestic violence detectives, it was revealed that the Amber Alert was not issued due to the fact that the case did not meet the criteria. That is, the child was not in imminent danger. They say the child is safe with his mother in the States. Detectives continue to follow up to determine the validity of the initial complaint. A shooting at a Mother's Day parade in New Orleans has injured more than a dozen people. CBS News correspondent Adriana Diaz has more.
Police taped off the crime scene and marked dozens of bullet casings. The shooting happened as hundreds of people marched in a Mother's Day parade.
All of a sudden it just stopped and everybody started running and running and running, and we were wondering what's going on, and they shooting.
At least 19 people were injured, including 2 10-year-old children. No deaths have been reported, and police are searching for suspects.
It appears that these 2 or 3 people, just for a reason unknown to us, started shooting at, towards, or in the crowd.
People living in the neighborhood rushed out of their homes to help the victims.
2 guys just collapsed right there on my steps, and me and my daughter did the best thing we can to revive them.
Many of the injured were rushed to a nearby hospital. Upset family members gathered outside waiting for the latest news. At least 2 people are in critical condition. Police say most of the victims are expected to recover. Adriana Diaz, CBS News.
Stick around, your News 2 AccuWeather forecast is coming up next.